Russian reports suggest 2 warplanes and 2 helicopters downed on Saturday, though unclear if due to friendly fire or Ukrainian attacks. Unverified sources claim that a second jet and a helicopter have crashed on what seems to be a bad day for Russian aviation. A second Mi-8 helicopter and an Su-35 warplane were also reported to have been shot down by Russian Telegram channels. On Friday in Crimea, a second military helicopter was destroyed. It was unclear whether friendly fire or missiles from the Ukrainians brought down the 2 aircraft and 2 helicopters. 2 Russian fighter jets and 2 military helicopters were shot down on Saturday not far from the Ukrainian border, according to the Russian news outlet Kommersant. On its website, Kommersant said that a raiding group consisting of a Su-34 fighter bomber, a Su-35 fighter, and 2 Mi-8 helicopters had been shot down almost simultaneously in an ambush in the Bryansk region, which borders northeast Ukraine. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, a 15-year-old girl was one of the 2 individuals killed and 10 people injured in a Russian shelling attack. Kostiantynivka, a city in eastern Ukraine, was the target of Smerch missile launchers, it continued. In Italy, Pope Francis, President Sergio Mattarella, Giorgia Meloni, and Volodymyr Zelensky had discussions. Zelensky is visiting Italy for the first time since Russia invaded on February 24 of last year. Ukrainian forces have regained at least a kilometer of territory in Bakhmut amid a Russian withdrawal that reflects Moscow's severe shortage of credible combat units, the UK Ministry of Defence has said in its latest intelligence briefing. It said elements of a Russian brigade withdrew in bad order from their positions on the southern flank of the eastern Ukrainian city, the scene of the war's longest battle. The brigade had been dogged with allegations of poor morale and limited combat effectiveness. Zelensky will be welcomed in Berlin on Sunday, according to German government sources who spoke to Reuters on Saturday. This is part of the leader's strategy to win over crucial allies in the fight against Russia's incursion. The Ukrainian president last traveled to Germany in February of last year, shortly before the war started, for the Munich Security Council. The German government will give Ukraine additional military equipment worth €2.7 billion, £2.4 billion, the largest donation Berlin has made since Russia's incursion. According to Der Spiegel, the package includes 4 additional IRIS-T anti-aircraft systems with ammunition, additional artillery ammunition, 20 Marder infantry fighting vehicles, 30 Leopard 1 tanks, 15 Gepard anti-aircraft tanks, 200 reconnaissance drones, and more than 200 armored combat and logistics vehicles. According to the mayor of Mykolaiv in southern Ukraine, 3 persons were hurt by Russian attacks. Oleksandr Sienkiewicz noted the attacks on his Telegram channel early on Saturday. According to him, Russian forces attacked a nearby industry, inflicting damage to nearby residential structures, 3 flat fires and damage to a school. The largest city of the eastern Ukrainian region of Luhansk, which is around 100 kilometers (60 miles) behind the front lines, was hit by missiles launched by Ukrainian forces, according to Russian-installed officials there, injuring 6 children, a Russian lawmaker, and damaging 2 abandoned factories. According to TASS news agency, which cited emergency services, a Russian Su-34 warplane crashed in the Bryansk region near Ukraine on Saturday. This was the second such occurrence to occur in the same area after a helicopter seemed to be shot down. According to Russian news sources reporting the Defense Ministry, 2 Russian pilots were killed when a Russian MiG-28 military helicopter crashed in the Crimean Peninsula that was annexed. According to TASS, it stated that it thought equipment failure was to blame for the incident on Friday. The Defense Ministry predicted that an unidentified item that entered Polish airspace from Belarus was likely an observation balloon on Saturday. A representative for Poland's Territorial Defense Army informed Reuters that an investigation was being conducted to locate the object. The authorities in Russia and Belarus were not immediately available for comment. The British-made Storm Shadow long-range cruise missiles were used to strike 2 industrial locations in the seized city of Luhansk, according to the Russian military ministry on Saturday. Zelensky expressed his gratitude to Rishi Sunak, the British Prime Minister, for providing long-range cruise missiles. When the UK's Defence Secretary, Ben Wallace, earlier announced that the country would send Storm Shadow missiles, the Kremlin threatened to respond militarily.